It's the end of the day with Ray. Hello, my friends. Hey, Toshiba put a press release out there. Now, I know if you're looking for this press release in our industry's media, you might not be able to find it. I mean, because it's about a breakup. Toshiba's breaking up the club. And I know there's a lot of press releases about people joining clubs, but you don't really see anything about people breaking up or when they leave these clubs. So I figured on the end of the day with Ray, I'd talk about the Toshiba splitting up into 3 different companies because it's a pretty big story. And I want to talk to you about how I see this playing out. So ladies and gentlemen, there's the press release. Toshiba makes this big announcement, and I need to get my Sharp interactive board working here. There's a couple things I want to talk about. So basically, Toshiba is going to split this thing up into 3 different companies. They got the infrastructure service company, the device company, and Toshiba Holdings. Toshiba Holdings is where Toshiba Tec is, okay? I don't care about those other entities. Doesn't have anything to do with what we do in the Document Imaging Channel, those folks that sell and service print equipment. So let's talk about Toshiba Tec, and let's talk about within Toshiba Tec, they have a retail business solutions, which we don't really care about, doesn't really affect us any. But they also have a workplace business solutions business, and that's where the print business lives. That's where all the copier business lives. That's the business that we all care about. That's about a $1.5 billion business, and I believe Toshiba is going to get rid of that piece. So without any further ado, let's continue. One of the things they do say in this press release, which is very interesting, I'm going to circle it. First ever spin-off scheme for a Japanese company of this size. This is a big deal. The Japanese conglomerates don't split up. You know, these conglomerates have spent the last 20 years, 2 decades or more, building these huge conglomerates, diversifying, you know, way outside the box. I mean, think of some of the things Toshiba was into. Remember? Some of the things they were into is what got them in all this trouble. You know, the deal with Westinghouse and the nuclear thing. I mean, there's all kinds of crazy things out there. I look at our friends over at Konica, you know, they're in the same boat. Big old conglomerate. They got this print business thing. They're not making any money on it. You know, do they really want to run direct operations? They got these other 2 divisions. Would they be better off just to spin off the print division? Would they be better off to spin off these other divisions? Will Canon be the same mindset? Toshiba might have started something. Once the ball starts rolling, you know where it goes. So ladies and gentlemen, it's just interesting. So let's dig a little bit deeper into this. So one of the things I wanted to do is I wanted to go and look at the Toshiba financials. You know, they just ended their first half of year 2, and let's kind of see where they're at and see if we can make any sense out of what these financials say as to the future of Toshiba's Tech's workplace business, the place we care about. So without any further ado, let's show you this slide. So this Workplace Solutions Business Group, where all the printers live, right? That's our business model, right? Inside Toshiba Tec, and they also have the retail group. Let's talk about this retail business group first. This Retail Solutions Business Group, you know, basically they're going to be at 270 billion yen, and they're going to have 15 billion yen in operating profit, which is 5.6%, you know, total operating profit of sales. Let me get my pen working here because, folks, there's something really interesting on this board that we need to think about as we think about Toshiba Tec, and then we think about the copier piece of Toshiba Tec. So they're gonna, you know, they're saying, hey, we're gonna make money. You know, we're gonna have an operating profit of 5.6%. You go down here to the Workplace Solutions Business Group, they're just saying we're not even gonna make any money. You know, we're gonna end up with 1.5 billion in sales. We're not gonna make any money off that. We don't really care. That's what it says, right? They don't really care. And I don't say that with callous or trying to be mean. They're focused on this, folks. They're focused on this Retail Solutions Business Group. You know how I know that? Well, just read more of the financials. So let me go ahead and cross this off because this gets really interesting, folks. You go to the next slide or a couple slides down, and they're talking about the retail business enhancements of solutions business by promoting collaboration and POS. They are just all excited about point of sale stuff. They're excited about all this stuff they're doing in this retail sector. They're talking about really cool things, innovation, software, AI. They're excited about it. You know, there's no page like this anywhere in these financials talking about how they're excited about the place we call home. You know, they're not excited. They're not excited about the workplace solutions business. I didn't see any slides in there talking about the new A3 they're kicking off, talking about how they're getting into production print. You know, I mean, I'm sure my friend Frank Canada is probably like, man, I wanted to talk about Toshiba's production print products. He's not going to be able to do that because there's nowhere in there are they talking about it. Folks, I believe they've given up. They said, hey, it's a $1.5 billion business. That's all it is. It's a $1.5 billion business. We gave up. So what does that mean for our industry? So let's just go over here and look at the logos. You know, we've seen these logos before. I've talked about Toshiba quite a few times. You know, let me get my pen working here. I still think Toshiba, you know, this $1.5 billion business inside Toshiba Tec that we care about, I think it just really should go to Sharp. I mean, let's be honest about it. Foxconn tried to buy the memory chip business from Toshiba. They already know all those people over there. Of course, they didn't end up getting that. Bain Capital did. Then Bain Capital spun that thing off to somebody else in 2018 or something. But the bottom line is they know each other. You know? Sharp, what do they got? The Toshiba PCs, right? Why don't they just give them the rest of it? That's a real viable option, right? It adds $1.5 billion in revenue to Sharp. Sharp would cut so many costs out of that, it'd be crazy. I mean, basically, they just buy the top off it. Folks, nobody's going to buy this thing for, like it's a going concern. I mean, let's be honest about it. If Toshiba just went away tomorrow, you know what? If they just went away, if Toshiba's plan was, why don't we just shut it down? It's $1.5 billion worth of revenue. It's, you know, we like this other section of Toshiba Tec better. You know, this retail thing. We're all excited about that. Let's just get rid of this thing. Just let it go away. Would they get a better tax benefit from that? You know, when you read the article about the split up, they're talking about doing a lot of things to benefit these new tax laws in Japan. So, you know, is that what they're going to do? They could easily do that. It's $1.5 billion, folks. It's a drop in the bucket. Let's just get rid of it. And if they did that, what would happen? Well, all these other OEMs would just pick up the customers. I mean, they're already there. We've got reps calling on these people. It's almost like vultures. You know, they're probably sitting out there in those parking lots. Yep, Toshiba, any day now. As soon as they go out of business, I'm going to go in that account and replace it with a Ricoh. That is a possibility, folks. But it would make more sense if they just got together with Sharp, did a clean deal, and exited the market, focused on those other business cores, right? Focused on their retail space within Toshiba Tec. That would make sense for Toshiba. And I really believe that's what they're going to do. How they get there, well, that's anybody's guess. But they are going to get rid of it. They're not going to run a $1.5 billion print company and grow that. They're going to focus on this retail business that they're all excited about. By their own admission, on their own website, with their own financial information. Like I said, there was nothing in there talking about how they're going to get into IT services. There was nothing in there talking about how they're going to put a device in people's offices and the whole entire network's going to go through that device. None of that stuff. And like I said, they really weren't talking about production print. So these are the things we need to pay attention to because our industry is going to start consolidating. This big giant conglomerate over there in Japan called Toshiba just might have opened up a big old can of whip ass. At the end of the day, all these other OEMs are going to watch what's going on over there at Toshiba, and they might start to do the same things. Our friends at Canon, I still believe Canon will in fact get rid of all their direct operations. I believe that Konica, they're already in the process of getting rid of their direct operations, regardless of the rumors they're squashing. They're already in the process. They just haven't finished the process, but that process will be finished. And I predict it'll be finished within the next 12 months. Then will they go ahead and split up some of their other entities like Toshiba? Will Canon split up some of those entities like Toshiba? Folks, lots to think about, but at the end of the day, we all know this. Status quo is the killer of all that'll be invented. Don't get started.